Definitely not. And on that point, Meena, you launched Phenomenal in 2017 as a campaign to support women's organizations. And even though I read you didn't intend to start a quote movement, you ended up tapping into something very significant. Since then, how have you galvanized momentum around the causes you champion?
hmm I want to go back to something that Tori said because it is so wonderful. And I think it's just such a great example for all of us, which is that she said, we did something, it was great, but we can do more. We can be even better. And I think that is what all of us can ask ourselves. What more can we be doing? How much, can we be better? Right. And continue to challenge ourselves and to reach higher. And so I appreciate that, Tori. And I said this when we were backstage, but you are such an inspiration to so many. So thank you for modeling that. For phenomenal, I would go back first to the power of community. That is really the perspective that I would say in the early days of it, really brought to the campaign, which was as a community organizer, somebody who had a background in politics and understanding the power of connection, the power in numbers and the strength in numbers. So that is a huge component of what we do. I think the other is when you talk about sort of, successfully I'm being interrupted by a child. Successfully mobilizing, right? Groups of people. I think it's also about meeting people where they are. Oftentimes, I think it's about making information and the ability to engage and participate accessible. And so that's something that we really pride ourselves in is being able to take what can be, complex, hard to understand, perhaps even sort of insidery, issues that historically have been, worked on by activists and folks who are doing the work behind the scenes on the ground, but thinking about how do we elevate and amplify that work so that we can engage mass audiences in these issues and in the activism and social justice advocacy that we know will be helpful to, push those policy and issue agendas forward. And for us, as you said at the beginning, I mean, I didn't know what it would become, but I did see on day one the power of putting a simple message on a t-shirt that was clearly speaking to people and is sort of frankly insignificant and small as that may seem, right? One little t-shirt, it was so apparent again on day one that it was resonating with people, that it was still something concrete, right, that they could identify with as a part of a community, that made them feel, as Tori just said, confident, right, and inspired to keep speaking out and to be a part of a community of empowered women who are using their voices. So I think for me, and coming from a background of politics where, I think I sort of had a purist view, if I'm being honest, before all of this, where I thought, there's a saying in the political world, which is, lawn signs don't vote. Like that's not enough, right? That what is that actually doing? And I had the view early on that like, what does a t-shirt do, right? Is that do more, right? And I think we can challenge ourselves to do more, but let's not underestimate the power of that, right? And understand that for what we were seeing was for many people, it was the first time that they were engaging in that way. And let's encourage that, right? And provide opportunities for people to engage at different levels that work for them and bring their unique talents and contributions to the table.